Africa Answers Dubai in Detail presentation. Considering this is your African Aperitif, because Dubai makes a great little stopover point en route to Africa, on that African safari. And it's quite amazing when you think about it. You're in this incredibly futuristic city, and I'll get into that. It's also this wonderful mix of Arabian culture, but then you leave there and you go to the plains of the Masai Mara or the plains of the Serengeti, and you're out there in a four-wheel drive and you've got lion, and it's just that change of scene that really makes for a memorable, impacting vacation. So Dubai itself is this amazing city that sits, in an area where it's kind of the right on the trade route, the Persian Gulf. The capital of the UAE is the United Arab Emirates, is of course Abu Dhabi, and there's Dubai. Now, it was initially set up where they brought, back in 1971, under the guidance of Sheikh Zayed, he actually brought the 7 tribes, the sheikdoms, together, and they formed this one United Emirates. And with that, in terms of size, you're looking at it's probably smaller than the state of Maine. It's about the same size as Rhode Island. Now, the population of Dubai is 1.5 million, and the whole of the UAE is about 4.5 million. Abu Dhabi is also, being the capital, is also a home to the president of the UAE. Now, the ruler of Dubai is His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, and he's the vice president and prime minister of the UAE. Now, it was Sheikh Zayed who had this vision, and it's incredible to think in this one family they've managed to kind of keep this vision alive. I mean, he was president for 33 years, and he really did bring peace to the area. In bringing these tribes, these warring tribes together, they all came together with one vision. And what has come about this simple start is actually now free healthcare for all Emirati, free housing, free education. It's tax-free. You're thinking about marrying an Emirati, sounds like a good idea. Priority for government posts. So if you're looking for work, you've pretty well got guaranteed a shoe-in for any government roles. And the real kicker is if you marry, so if local marries a local Emirati, you'll get a $20,000 bonus. Now, what's incredible about this place is that they had the vision, realizing that oil was kind of on its way, it was running out, depleting oil stocks. They realized they needed to change Dubai to kind of utilize that oil money. And right now, oil is less than 5% of the annual gross turnover. And you'll find that tourism and commerce are about 95%. So it's really changed the whole nature. And the beautiful thing about this Arabian culture is that it's very much alive. You get a chance to really feel that. In the dress, you'll see the men wearing traditional Kandora or Dishdash. And that's, by the way, that picture behind, hanging on the wall, that's Sheikh Mohammed. Sheikh Mohammed's the Prime Minister of the UAE. Now, women wear what's called the Abaya and the Shayla. And now, all in black. Now, black is actually a very good colour, because the women can put that Abaya over anything and they're completely covered. And of course, they love to dress them up. Of course, you've got Armani handbags and all. Don't worry, they're like women anywhere. They love to kind of put signature touches to their attire, and very proud and they're also very open to talking. When you're over here, you get a chance to meet people, and we give you that opportunity. To give you an idea of as far as the culture, you'll see them out there with the Kandora on the stand-up paddle challenge down at the beach. It's kind of it's a part of life, and I think that's a charming part of going to a foreign country and actually getting a chance to experience this the people. When you look at Dubai and where it's come, and back in 1970, before the changes, this is what Dubai looked like. That's actually Sheikh Zayed Road that goes all the way through to Europe. And there's no country in the world, or no city in the world, that's gone through greater change or rapid transformation than that of Dubai. I mean, it started off, Dubai was pretty much a fishing settlement. It was basically a pearl diving centre. It was a vibrant little trading port for the the British East India Company, and so spices coming up from Africa and goods coming over from Asia. They used to use the port here before heading up into the Gulf and up through to Europe. I mean, it's grown, though, and in such a short space of time. In 2003, this was evolved, and today, this is Dubai today. It is truly an amazing sight to see. And the city itself, you can't help but be impressed. Now, as far as documentation, US passport holders automatically receive a 60-day tourism stamp upon arrival at the immigration desk. Nothing could be more seamless and simple. There is no charge for the stamp or advanced action necessary. If you are a passport holder from somewhere else, well, then you'll need to go to the UAE's embassy website. But US passport holders, you're looking good. The currency is the dirham. Now, the dirham is pegged to the US dollar. It's 3.65 dirham to the US to $1. So it's steady, and your money's very safe. It's going to go a lot further when you're here. Speaking of safe, things like courtesy and hospitality are very much prized virtues amongst the Arab world, and you'll find the visitors here will be actually charmed by the genuine warmth and friendliness of the local people. I mean, Interpol rated Dubai as one of the safest cities in the world for the last 4 years in a row. So, this place is a safe place to go. And the population is very diverse. There's over 200 different nationalities all melding together, all living harmoniously. And the UAE population, less than 15% is actually made up of nationals, Emiratis. The other 85 is all expats. I'll have you know too, with regards to water, because people ask that, you buy bottled water when you're here. You'll find the water is all desalinated and it's very safe to drink. So they've got these big desalination plants. And they also use a lot of solar energy, so they're very eco, very, and you'll find, you'll have no problems here. Weather-wise, well, Dubai lies in this arid subtropical zone. The climate is fairly high in temperature. Probably the June, July, August are going to be the hottest months, and that's when it's going to be pretty humid too. But the remaining 9 months of the year, it will be between the 70s and 90s, and which is ideal, absolutely ideal for North American travellers. Now, what do you wear? This is always the question, and it's one that really, it's no different to here, quite frankly. I mean, would you get dressed up in a bikini and go to church? No. So, and you wouldn't do that walking down a mall. I mean, it's about respect. And when you're in a foreign country, it doesn't matter which country that is, you don't parade around and be overly amorous. It's kind of, you've got to be respectful of the local custom. And I think that's a delightful part of going somewhere different. I didn't expect to have the same virtues and set of rules. I like to have something a little different. It makes it kind of exotic, and that's a part of the nature of coming to somewhere like Dubai. I mean, when you're in the confines of your resort and you're at the swimming pool, of course, you're in your swimming gear and off you go. That's fine. But there's no real law what to wear. Just dressed smart. That's the story. Now, getting there, Emirates Airlines is one of our favourite carriers, and they do a marvellous job. Be you in economy class, you'll find you'll have comfortable seating and all the modern facilities. You'll get well-served three-course meals and wine, and you'll really, there's more movies on here than you'll get a chance to look at, let me tell you. Emirates is one of my favourite airlines, and that smile, I think I slept with that smile on, quite frankly. I was in business class. I got a little glass of mimosa there. I'm having a little bit of a toast, and it was just an amazing experience. The actual staff were second to none. They truly looked after me well. I mean, this is actually Ahmed and Jane. Now, Jane actually happened to be from Kenya, and Ahmed was from Ethiopia. Now, it was lovely because we had a chance to have a chat. What's nice about the staff is they all come from different parts of the world, but they all now live in Dubai. So when you're going via Dubai, it means you can ask them, okay, what's happening? What are the best restaurants? Because, restaurants go in and out of favour with the locals, and you want to go somewhere where it's humming, and so you just chat to the people on the plane, and they'll say, oh, on Saturday night, you've got to go here, or it's Thursday night, you've got to go there. That's really cool. The other thing about these people is they're from all over the world, and there's a pretty good chance there'll be somebody on that plane who's actually from somewhere you're going. I mean, there was a gal on there from Australia that I chatted to. Not that we were going to Australia, but it's a good thing to remember, because when you're going to places, it's nice to have that little extra service when you get a chance to meet and converse with people from their homeland, and they're very proud to talk about when you're going to their country. They love to talk about that. Now, a good place to start up conversation is here in the business class lounge. That's on a plane. That's on a plane, that bar, and you can hop up here and have a little cocktail and Bloody Mary or a little glass of bubbles and have some nice snacks. You don't have to be drinking alcohol. They've got a little cup of coffee or a cup of tea and a pastry. I mean, it's delightful to think that you can actually stretch your legs, walk out, have a chat with other travellers. It's amazing how much time will dissipate when you're up in this little area. It's a great way to kind of really, I mean, Emirates has taken flight back into the glory days of when flying was fun, and they've made it even better than then. Honestly, it is a great experience. Of course, when you want to have a nap in business class, you'll be able to stretch out straight, have a good night's sleep. If you're fortunate enough, or if you've got clients that wish to travel in first class, they'll be mighty impressed, because they're one of the few airlines that actually have a shower on board their plane in first class. Lovely marble vanity, and of course the first class cabin area is quite delightful. You don't want to leave the plane. Speaking of not leaving the plane, when the plane actually, this here airport is the only airport in the world, Emirates has set this up purely for A380s. So what happens here is divided into two parts. The top part is actually business class and first class clients. So when you get out of your plane and you walk up into this airport, you will be in one of the biggest business class lounges you've ever been in, because it's all business and first. And this lower part, it's all economy. Let me tell you though, it's all about Dubai. It's got one of the biggest duty-free areas I've ever seen. Quite amazing. And yeah, so remember that when you're doing a little shopping. And after a good flight, you'll be happy like me. I got met by Desert Adventures, great company, and they basically took me to my accommodation. Now, I want to take you for a quick map view of where things are. This is the international airport, Dubai International Airport. Going from there a little south, you've got the Burj Khalifa, this amazing tall building, and quite a great little area for some wonderful hotels. I'll touch on some of those. The Emirates Mall, where you can go indoor skiing. Can you believe that? In the desert, skiing? My goodness me. Then down further, you've got the Dubai Marina, some alfresco dining areas. Delightful. On this beautiful marina, you can take boat rides up and down that. There's, of course, the Palm Jumeirah, which is, well, I think you should all by now be familiar with the shape of this. It's a man-made palm. It's quite impressive. Accommodations, of course, located there. You've got the Burj Al Arab, which has really helped put Dubai on the map. It's quite an amazing showpiece. The Burj Al Arab, it is the 7-star hotel, the first 7-star hotel in the world. Then you've got the makings of the world island. It's currently under work right now. They're putting all these little sand islands together. You can buy yourself a little place, buy yourself a country in there. Further up, for those that are interested in cruising, the cruise terminal. I love the location. The cruise terminal is just at the mouth of the creek, as you can see, and if people are doing pre or post cruising, this is a good spot. Dubai makes a great port of call. And then my favourite area is the Dubai Creek. It's a lovely historic area, which Sheikh Zayed actually was the one who developed it, because before it was just a very thin little creek, and now he's broadened it right out. Eventually, it'll completely circumnavigate and have another exit as well. So, the Dubai Creek. So that's, there's one more spot, the Dubai Desert. You wouldn't be in an Arabian country without getting out into the desert. And there's this lovely Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve, where you might even see an oryx, which is a rare animal. Now, a good way to see it is by air, and I'd 100% recommend, if clients can afford the idea of getting on a float plane or a helicopter ride, definitely get up, because you'll get a greater understanding. It's all about getting your bearings. So let's get our bearings now. We hop on this little plane. It will take us up. You'll pass the western Dubai Minat Shayla, and you'll leave, and you'll basically get gorgeous views from the plane over the Palm Jumeirah Island. And that's you can see there, the Palm Jumeirah Island. You're looking out. The western's in the front, and next to the western is the one and only. The one and only is right in the foreground here. There's also a one and only right out here on this point. I just got to see the one and only. They are delightful, and I've got to say, it's by far one of my favourite accommodations. Now, I like to recommend that if you need help selecting accommodations, I've just been here only about a month ago now, and it's all very fresh in mind. And the one and only was just beautiful. Now, out on the Palm is the Atlantis the Palm, and the Atlantis is quite amazing. It's like that the Atlantis in the Bahamas. It's got about 1,500 rooms, about 4,000 people work here. It gives you this great view from the Atlantis back across Dubai. So it's a good hotel. This here, the Palm Royal Villa, well, this is Sheikh Mohammed's private beach villa. And Sheikh Mohammed's worth about $14 billion. Yeah, crazy money. Burj Al Arab, quite an impressive building. You would have seen Tiger Woods up there. And then taking from the air, this is where they all locate. So you get an idea. There's the Palm, there's Burj Al Arab, and this is the World Islands out there. Now the World Islands themselves are, like I said, in the throes of being built. I believe this is an Iranian wealthy billionaire who's built this resort out here. Then the plane takes a route across the city, and this is Sheikh Zayed Road that goes all the way through to Europe, and you can see the bustle of this area. And that's part of the waterway coming through, and the float plane that kind of banks past the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Just absolutely impressive. And of course, out across this little waterway, the Dubai Wildlife Sanctuary, where they've got pink flamingo. Who would have believed? Wildlife in Dubai, right in Dubai, the city itself. So you don't have to go out into the desert. You've got pink flamingo right here. And then, of course, there's the lovely Dubai Creek, which is my favourite area. The actual creek, of course, is part that goes into that sanctuary for the flamingo. There's about 5,000 flamingo there. They basically migrate. They never left. Now, the creek itself is about 8 miles long, and it's a salty creek. It's about 20 feet deep. It's been dredged out by Sheikh Rashid, and it was his vision to develop this creek into a canal and develop the whole area so people would come. It's like build it and they will come, and certainly they did. One of the things they developed was a gorgeous golf course, the Dubai Creek Golf and Yacht Club, and one of its key tenets is this lovely golf club. It's a great sight. Look at that first tee out over the water. Fantastic. You've got the Heritage Village through here, and it's the same. It's a wonderful place to go and visit. You've got the wind towers, you see, which encourage breezes to shoot down and naturally cool the building. It was actually owned by the Maktoum family that lived back in the 1800s, and they moved out and have given it back to the people, which is just a wonderful experience for your guests now. They get a chance to come through here, and I'll show you some of the things they can do. Of course, the cruise terminal is right on the edge of this, and at one point last year they had about 5 cruise ships in here. At once, about 12,000 people, so they can really cater for large groups. The QE2 parked here. It's not there at the moment, but there are plans to bring it back. They say they're going to make it a 5-star hotel, a bit like the one they did in Long Beach, with the Queen Mary. So that's kind of nice. There's also, just further around the corner, is the Union House, and that's where the Constitution was signed back in '71. Basically, there was initially only 6 of the Emirates actually came together in the treaty. The last one signed 12 months later. But they're all, it was quite a feat to have them all come together. Now, the Dubai beaches are a playground of paradise, and some beautiful, incredible beaches, as you can see in this picture here. And the wonderful thing about Dubai is this lovely contrast between modern and traditional, and that's how it all began. So old Dubai, or in this area called the Bastakia district in the Dubai Creek area, this is called the Bastakia district, and you'll see this lovely glimpse of what old Dubai was all about. These narrow laneways, houses with chimney-like structures called wind towers, and before the advent of air conditioning, this is how they called them down. Now, the Bastakia district also includes a museum. There's a cultural centre, restaurants, heritage hotel, and an art gallery. And what's lovely is to go into the courtyards, and this is where you get to sit down and actually meet the people, perhaps have a henna marriage tattoo. Well, it's not permanent, but henna art on your place in your hands. You can go into the Jumeirah Mosque, and the mosque visit is truly quite impressive. It takes about an hour, and you really discover the lifestyle of the Emirati, and you can ask as many questions as possible. They're very open, and it's actually open on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays about 10. Again, we all tee that up for you and make sure your clients are well looked after. Now, my favourite place was the Sheikh Mohammed Centre of Cultural Understanding. We sit around this big table, and you'll actually have a traditional tea and or coffee, and you get a chance to actually chat and talk. And they're very open and very about their culture, about their dress. And I think from my group that I travel with, they just thought, I suppose, when you live in America, you're kind of brought up by Fox News. It's kind of, you get a bit of a shaded sort of view of the world. And to come here, to actually talk to these people and to learn from them, it's just, I'm going to say it's still one of the strongest impressions in my mind. And to step into the Dubai Museum and step back in time, essentially, and learn a bit about their humble beginnings of this desert-dwelling, culture that basically made a fortress that they lived in. They did a marvelous job of retaining their culture. This is an old Fort Ali Zayed, which was converted to a museum back in '71 at the time of the coronation. Basically, it really does give a good insight. You can actually see the early pearl diving exhibition. It really gives a good insight into that, and also you kind of, in itself, it's not all about a museum. I mean, the Dubai Creek still functions as a centre of trade. And so you've got these vessels that work in and around the Arabian Gulf, moving spices, and you'll see what they call a boom. These boats are called a boom, and they've got, on the waterfront, you'll have these huge boxes and all these goods packed out there. Nobody's guarding it. It's all it's just like the world stopped down here, and it's beautiful. And they'll take all these goods into the markets, and those markets are called the souks. And the souks is where you'll smell the pungent aroma of spices, the heady smells. It's just delightful. And hearing the accents and the language, and it just, you feel like you're somewhere exotic. It reminds me of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I feel like, Harrison Ford. It's just a fantastic space to be in. And going to the gold souk, I mean, if you want to buy gold, this is one of the cheapest places you'll get gold in the world. Seriously, some bargains to be had, and never take the first price. In fact, I studied this, because I actually ran into trouble while I was there. You see, I ran out of dirham, so I took a job on. One of the local shop operators trained me up very quickly. There I am dressed in the Dishdash, and I decided to kind of put my hand to a little salesmanship. Well, initially, my sales skills were met with some resistance, but as it turned out, resistance was futile. And I made so much money, I bought myself an entire harem. You like that? Sensational. Yeah, well, all jokes aside, what was nice about this is, the local Emirati were more than happy for me to kind of try on a Dishdash, and more than happy for me to play up and clown around. I mean, honestly, they're just like us. They're just so much fun. I met some great guys, and I got told some fantastic jokes, and I just couldn't stop laughing. We had such a good time, and you can see in the faces of those gals, they were having a pretty good time too. And right next to that, the Hyatt is one of my favourite places. I've got a little golf course right on it too, thank you very much. The Jumeirah Creekside Hotel, also again in that Creekside area, they host the Dubai Tennis Championship annually. The Raffles, you will remember the Raffles by the pyramid. So remember pyramid when you say Raffles, and also remember it for its souk. They've got this gorgeous Khan Majaz, and this is this lead light, the stained glass ceiling is this complete history lesson. It's just divine. And these souks, I mean, it's a little higher class, a little more polished than the normal, real, authentic souk, but at the same time, it's a great spot to do some shopping. Don't you worry about that. Now, the Burj Khalifa is just over the top. It just blows me away. It stands as one of the best places to stay at the Burj Khalifa, actually to stay around it. So you've got the beautiful view. I mean, it reminds me a bit of Disneyland, because when they light it up at night, that's what it looks like. That whole start of the Disneyland movie, it was just divine. And at its base, they've got this incredible fountain. The same fountains, the guys from California that built the fountains in Bellagio, except here, it's about 25% bigger. So yes, it's the biggest in the world and costs about 800 million dirham to build. Quite incredible. They like building big here. Like the Dubai Mall has the biggest aquarium in the world, and it's just phenomenal. Quite an impressive sight. It's great to be there when they're feeding the fish too. They actually go in there diving, and if you're keen, you can go diving in yourself. Now, we stayed at the JW Marriott Marquis, a gorgeous property, wonderful dining facilities. The service was second to none. You've got suite-style rooms and very open and airy and beautiful vistas. The kitchen, which was like an endless dining area, I think it wasn't until the last day that I discovered yet another area. They've got so many food choices here. It's phenomenal. And all that marble and just beautifully laid out. And the staff here was sensational. We couldn't leave the place without people shouting out our names, without looking after us. They were all over us. And you'll find service is something that is not uncommon in a place like Dubai. Very, very good. A place like the Burj Al Arab, for example, when we talk service, if you're staying here, they have one of the largest fleets of Rolls-Royce. So, I've run out of sugar. I'll just pop down the shop. Can we have the roller, please? No, they'll take it. I'll pick you up. That's part of the ticket. And when you walk in, it reminds me of that Eddie Murphy movie. Coming to America, when he's walking along and there's that person with the rose petals throwing in the air. Well, I'm making that bit up. They don't throw rose petals in the air as you're walking along. But let me tell you, there's a whole line of people. Somebody's got cold towels. Somebody's got hot towels. Somebody's got dates. Somebody's got rose water, coffee. It's just all lining up to give service. And when you're here, this is a 7-star hotel. Each of the actual rooms each floor is a double story, and each floor has its own concierge. And that's impressive. It's a really impressive building. It's all gold, and interiors are all gold. And got to say, I wasn't a big fan of the mirror on the ceiling. I have trouble looking in the bathroom mirror, let alone waking up and seeing somebody on top of me. It's kind of a bit frightening, but that's another story. It is the Burj Al Arab, and it does come with a certain prestige, and you'll see that and you'll feel that when you're here. For example, the restaurants here are just gorgeous. You've got this wonderful underwater restaurant, and there's also right at the very top the presidential suite, which the Burj Al Arab presidential suite, which has its own private helipad. That's Tiger Woods. That was purely a promotion, and it has been probably viewed on video on YouTube. Also, you might have seen where the tennis players actually got up here and played a bit of tennis. That was to help promote the Dubai Open. What an amazing picture. So you've probably seen that before. For me, I like the idea of staying where I can view that and staying back down on the ground where I've got a nice place like the Miandat Jumeirah at the Min Salam. It's a gorgeous place. It's got its own little shopping area and waterway, and you've got the Miandat Jumeirah Souk. It's got a great Traders Vicks in there, and there's actually you can go and buy gold. There's a dispensing machine. You know how you can go and buy bubble gum? Well, here you can put your money in and come out with a gold bar. Only in Dubai. Now, speaking of only, the one and only Royal Mirage. This place is special. Now, when you're thinking about, I'm going to an Arabian culture, what do you want to stay in? You want to stay in something that has that little feeling of that, the environment. And this is what this delivers. It delivers a 5-star experience at the same time. The furnishings, just you can see in the room, the nature of the window looking through it's got that Arabian feel. At the same time, it's a lovely 5-star property. The one and only gets a big tick from me, and there's a number of those properties there. Out on the Palm is the Atlantis the Palm, which has the crown glory. It's right at the top of the crown, you could say, and it looks like a bit of a crown looking back towards Dubai. You're talking about 1,500 rooms and about 4,000 staff that work here. I mean, they really do a marvelous job making sure that their clients are all looked after. They've got a wonderful facility. It's very much like a Disneyland sort of experience staying here. You've got some great, kids can go swimming with dolphins, and there's all sorts of activities that you'll be well looked after. It's great for families. And the inside, you'll see, they've got something like 65,000 fish in this aquarium, and your room can actually have that vista. You can actually have this wonderful vista with from your bedroom or even from your bath. You're sitting in the bath, and you could be swimming with the fishes, as they. But it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Then you've got the Mall of the Emirates. Now, this is a wonderful shopping mall, has its own indoor ski centre. Now, see that big grey arm to the right? That's actually an indoor ski centre. So this is the Kapinski group that actually own this property, and it is just an amazing property. It has, with this indoor skiing area, you can actually have rooms that are kind of designed like little chalets that overlook this winter wonderland. That is serious snow. That's not that's real snow. They've got snow-making facilities in there. They've even got a little team of penguins that kind of waddle out. They hand feed these little penguins. It is just remarkable. I mean, how bizarre. I think bizarre is the best thing here. You know, it's 110 degrees outside, and you've got a indoor ski field. Amazing. Probably more to my liking, while I kind of find that amusing, for me, Al Mahat Desert Resort and Spa. This is 45 minutes out of Dubai, and it's set on this wonderful piece of pristine desert landscape, and it's undeniably one of the most unforgivable places on earth, and yet this chanting little location boasts unobstructed panoramic views across the Hajar Mountains and the surrounding dunes, so you feel like you're at the set of some Lawrence Arabia movie. And yet, again, it's all 5-star. I mean, there's nothing flapping in the breeze here, let me tell you. This is a gorgeous canvas arrangement, but with timbered floors and so on. And it's out here that you get a chance to go on a desert safari, and this is a must, to go out and actually be out in the desert, to sit around and try the hookah, the local tasty smoke. You can have apples and all sorts of different, and they sit on these little Persian rugs, and you'll eat out and dine outside, and it really is a wonderful culinary experience. So I've got to say, the local cuisine, very impressive, and of course the mandatory camel ride, because camels are very much a prized animal here, and you want to get in early to get yourself a good-looking camel like this one here. Look at, he's a pretty fella. And then off you go. Oh, that's me out there, the little Lawrence of Arabia. Yeah, could have shot a movie myself, eh? They do like to race camel here too, so there's lots of activities and events. Camel racing is a fun event, and to watch these guys and go out having bets on camel, it's a good day out. Or you can go to Miandad Grandstand and racetrack. They have some prestigious race events like the Dubai World Cup horse racing event, where the whole of the world comes to Dubai. The fashion stakes are high, and the chances to win, well, back in 2013, it was Animal Kingdom, which is a well-known horse from the States, that actually won. Now, the Dubai Desert Classic is also a major golf game on the PGA circuit. The Emirates Golf Course hosts this event, and there's been the Tiger Woods, of course, has played. Then you've got the Dubai Tennis Championship, again a major tennis championship on the PGA circuit. And, of course, they have the Dubai Film Festival. So their events are far wide and reaching, and the world has its eyes on Dubai. It becomes a major, major meeting spot for lots of major international events. So when you think of Dubai, you think of it for its wonderful wealth of Arabian heritage. You think of Dubai as the most futuristic city in the world, this incredible city that's kind of grown out of the desert in such a short space of time. Quite impressive. It's great for its nightlife. It's fabulous for its fine dining. Some of the best restaurants in the world have made Dubai their home. Dubai has sensational spa facilities. It's a wonderful place to relax after that safari through Africa. You come back to Dubai and you'll relax, do a little shopping, have a spa. It's a place also for beautiful beaches, and those beaches, while they offer some great relaxing experiences, also front out some amazing water sports, sailing and snorkeling and diving and spearfishing, and of course there's lots of water parks too in a lot of these properties as well. So Dubai really does offer something for everybody. It's definitely a destination unto its own, and it's also a great stopover en route to Africa, and let's not forget Australia too.